Let's talk about one and done eyeshadows that I think you should definitely try. We have various textures, formulas, finishes. I'm excited, and we have different price points as well. Let's begin. I love one and done eyeshadows because it's literally the name, one and done. It's one color, you swipe it on your eyelid, you can blend with your fingers or a brush, and it's just effortless. It's so easy, and it just looks beautiful all day long. And I do wanna share with you two brushes that I like to apply them with. The first one is by Rare Beauty, and it's supposed to kind of resemble your fingertip, which I think is phenomenal. It's a little bit more dense, it's tapered as well, and it's just the perfect size, and it blends with ease. The second brush is by Rose & Ben, and this is their C31 brush. Essentially a similar brush to Rare Beauty, but it's more round, a lot more dense, and you can pack a lot more with this brush, and it also blends with ease, and they're both fabulous. Let's begin with the first eyeshadow. The best glitter, I will say, is the Hourglass, their Scattered Lights eyeshadow. This one right here, I just have the particular shade in Blaze. And this formula is so easy to work with. It's so creamy, but it's very light. And I just like using this with a finger and just kind of tapping it onto my eyelid. You can use this with an eyeshadow base or without. And it's gonna give you that nice, very soft, light, scattered glitter all over your eyes. They don't fall out as much as you think because they are kind of like more tightly packed, but they do look beautiful on their own or with an eyeshadow on top of like a powder, a cream matte shadow. These are stunning. And there are so many other shades to choose from, and I like that you can do very intense or just very sheer and very minimal, but a little bit of sparkle and glitter on the eyelids. Let's move on to the next one. Next is the best matte formula. Liquid formula. This is About Face, and these are newer to the makeup world, just her brand in general, Halsey's About Face brand. I like the price point, but these cream shadows, I have several shades, but in this video, I'm using this one right here in shade Freaked. And these are just so effortless. They glide on your eyelid like a dream. They have a doe foot applicator, which makes it a little bit foolproof. You don't have to think about it as much. You just use the doe foot applicator to apply where you want the eyeshadow to sit. And then you can either take your finger to kind of pat it all into place or take a brush. Either brush that I mentioned will work incredible with this eyeshadow, and it's just so effortless, so easy, and you can pack on the pigment to give it even more intensity or whatever you prefer. And you can use these also as eyeliners as well, which I like. And they do dry fully matte, and they look beautiful on the eyelid. So if you're more of a matte gal, I think you'll really enjoy these. Okay, Danessa Myricks, their Color Fix eyeshadows. These are more of like a multi-purpose, and this is what category I put them under. They're the best multi-purpose pigments. So you can use it as your eyeliner, your eyeshadow, your cheek color, your lip color. There are so many different colorways, colors, pigments, finishes. They're just so beautiful. The particular one that I used today is in the shade, I think Alien. Is it Alien? Is in shade Alien, and this is their foil pigment. So this is really good for if you want that foiled metallic finish, but these definitely are more of that kind of chunky glitter, but still fine glitter. Very beautiful on their own or as toppers on top of a cream matte eyeshadow or a powder eyeshadow. These are really cool. You can also mix it with like your lipstick to give a cool monochromatic look, but her entire line for the Color Fix pigments I think are stunning. The only thing I will say about some of the formulas like the mattes and even the foils, you do have to work quick with them because they do set, and which is good because they're waterproof, but they do set and they last all day long, but they can get a little bit patchy. So I do like them, but you do have to kind of work for them in a way. But they're still flawless, they're beautiful, and there's so many shades and finishes to choose from. So this next category is most finger friendly. I would say most of these eyeshadows that I'm talking about today are finger friendly, but this one in particular by Charlotte Tilbury, their Eyes to Mesmerize cream eyeshadow. And this particular shade is Sunlit Glow, but most of her shades I enjoy, and they're just so easy to blend. They're so creamy, they're so buttery, and they just blend incredible on top of your eyelids. And these are perfect if you want that nice wash of color, but you don't want to think about it too much. You don't want to take out an entire eyeshadow palette. This is so good. Again, use your fingers, or you can also use a brush, but these I would say are one of the most finger-friendly eyeshadows to work with, and they pack a punch, but you can also kind of tone them down to give them more of a sheer wash of color, depending on what you're trying to go for. But I love these, and they have a special place in my heart. The next category, best value. ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadows. The reason why they're best value, first of all, is because they have so many different shades to choose from. They also have matte, they have glitter, but they're just so pretty. This particular shade I'm using in today's video is their Ultra Glitter in Dream Much. First of all, such a beautiful shadow, and they're so easy to use. Again, use your fingers, pack it on, or use a brush to help blend the edges. But super easy to use, very budget friendly, and there are so many different colors to choose from. And these shadows are also the glitters. They're also great as toppers on top of your powder or cream matte eyeshadows, or even just in the inner corner or whatever else. But the formula is really nice, pretty easy to work with. I will say they're not super long lasting, so I do like to pair these with an eyeshadow base to get the most out of them. And especially the Ultra Glitter formula, they can start to fall out if you don't have an eyeshadow base or an eyeshadow underneath to help them stick to. But beautiful formula, so many different colors to choose from, and I think you'll enjoy these. I had a hard time with this category, most long wearing. I would say a lot of these are long wearing without an eyeshadow base, but when I tried these out, RMS Eyelights, I was shocked and just mesmerized with the intensity and longevity of these cream eyeshadows. This particular shade is Blaze, and I am just such a fan. I like the packaging. It can get a little messy, so be careful not to squeeze too hard, because when you open it, a lot of it will pop out. So be careful with that. Another thing, they're so pigmented, they're so blendable. They're also very buildable if you don't apply too much right away. But if you do apply too much, they're very blendable, which is the best part, and they clean up very nice. But once they set, they set. They don't crease, they don't fade, they don't become patchy as the day goes on. They're so beautiful, very easy to work with, very impressed with this eyeshadow, and yeah, these are incredible. Next category, best cream stick. I have to give it down to the iconic Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks. These have been in the beauty world for so long, and they're just so good, and there's a reason why so many people love these. First of all, I love the packaging. It's a stick, it's a retractable stick, so it's not super messy. You can be more precise with these, and they're also super creamy, very blendable. They're buildable to a point. I will say they're not the most pigmented, especially these kind of metallic, more lighter shades, but the darker shades are very, very pigmented. But super easy to work with. The only thing I will take away from these, they do crease if you don't wear an eyeshadow base underneath. Just because they are so buttery and creamy, they can kind of slide if you have oilier eyelids, but easy fix, just apply some eyeshadow base and they won't go anywhere. I love these. I have so many of them, and I use them honestly all the time if I want something super quick and easy. They're phenomenal. The best splurge category has to go to Victoria Beckham. This is her lid luster, and in this shade, in this video, I'm using Honey. These are so pretty. When the first time I tried them out and tested the formula, the first time I swatched it, they felt very, a little bit more dry, but once you warm them up and you apply it to your eyelid, they just transform into something so beautiful and so magical. Again, I would say use your fingertips, pat it onto your eyelids, and then if you need to, use a brush to kind of help blend it, but I honestly don't even need a brush with these. Another thing, if you do want them more intense, they also work beautiful with a wet application. So take it on your brush, spray your brush with some Fix Plus or water, and tap it onto your eyelid, and wow, they are metallic, so beautiful, so stunning. And the only drawback with these, they do fall out quite a bit. I would say these are the most ones that do have quite a bit of fallout, but very easy to wipe away and clean up. But beautiful formula, and they're definitely worth the splurge. And of course, we can't forget the clean formula. These right here are by Ilia, and this is their liquid powder eyeshadows. They also have a matte and I think a shimmer or a glitter formula. In this video, I'm sharing with you the matte version in shade Tanning. These eyeshadows, they're very pigmented and they do dry down very fast, and they are pretty matte, the matte version. I will say work one eye at a time, but the one thing is they are pretty buildable, so that's a good thing. But like I said, work one eye at a time, because once they set, they set. They're very beautiful, and I will say I love the formula. They're very clean. They are a little bit more watery, so you're thinking you're not gonna get much out of them, but you do. And I do like the doe foot applicator. It kind of helps where you're placing your eyeshadow so you don't have to go all over the place. And then you can draw it out where you want your eyeshadow to sit, and then go in with your finger or a brush and just kind of stamp everything in to help blend and soften the edges. But of course, clean formulas is kind of the big deal right now. You want to make sure you're understanding what you're putting on your eyes. But yeah, very beautiful formula, and I like the packaging. And Ilia overall as a brand is an incredible clean brand. There are so many other phenomenal one and done eyeshadows. These are kind of just the standouts, but there are so many incredible honorable mentions. I will say most one and done eyeshadows, they work well together. So if you want to create a look using 3 to 4 different formulas, you definitely can. And I wanted to show you guys today, I used 3 different formulas today just to show you that they do wear very well, especially if they're phenomenal formulas to begin with. I just love the concept of the one and done. You don't have to think about it too much. You don't have to have a massive eyeshadow palette. You just take one of these with you and you're good to go, and you can create beautiful eyeshadow looks with one eyeshadow color, or 2 or 3, whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, these quick little swatches and demonstrations, and we'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye.